Hello, everybody. It is Monday, March 25th, 2024. Welcome to episode 82 of the Old Mage MTG podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. You could be doing anything right now, anything, but you've chosen to be right here with us to discuss a children's card game. We appreciate it. While you are here, if you'd like to support us, you can definitely do so for free. You can give us a like. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can leave us a comment on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. We're on all those platforms. If you love video, and there's a lot of video in this show, you can see video on YouTube and on Spotify. I think I have video loaded up for like the past 20, 25 episodes on Spotify, and I'm going through the back catalog. I'm replacing audio with video, so it's all going to be video. If you're going to buy cardboard, like I buy cardboard, Alex buys cardboard, you probably buy cardboard, consider doing so using our affiliate link for TCG Player. You can click on our TCG affiliate link in the description below. It's no extra cost to you. It helps support the podcast. Today is part 2 of our pre-modern soldiers discussion. We're bringing you even more pre-modern soldiers. Last week, we took a tour through the white soldier pool. Now we've got some blue soldiers, some black soldiers, some green soldiers, some red soldiers, some multicolored soldiers to discuss. I don't think we have any follow-ups to last episode, so let's get right into today's topic. I'm going to throw this over to you, Alex, to lead our charge through the pre-modern soldier card pool.
Yes,
This is
sir.
segment 1. Pre-modern soldiers part 2.
Okay. Well, first I thought we'd start talking about some of these multicolored soldiers. The first one I noticed. Sorry, what?
I love the gold. I love the gold. I love starting.
I know you do. I know. You wouldn't want to wait till the end for the gold. So, I don't have too many of these. There's a few more I know for sure. I didn't include all of them because I was trying to keep this somewhat manageable. I don't know if there's some you want to mention, but I'll start off alphabetically with a few of these. Goblin Legionnaire from Apocalypse is the first one.
There were a couple gold soldiers that I want to talk about, but I think you got them all here in the list because I had a couple in mind, but I saw them on the list.
Goblin Legionnaire is a multicolor, 1 white, 1 red goblin soldier. It's a 2/2. You can pay a red and sacrifice it to have Goblin Legionnaire deal 2 damage to target creature or player, or you can pay a white to sacrifice it and prevent 2 damage to target creature or player. So it has like a white effect and a red effect.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of neat. Looks like you can do some stuff. It's only 2 casting cost with some abilities. Will synergize with goblins and with soldiers, so that's nice.
I like this guy. So last episode, I mentioned a red-white soldier deck that I put together just because I wanted to play Marton Stromgold. And I ended up throwing a lot of white soldiers with Shadow in there. The idea is to just play Shadow creatures on curve, push damage through, attack every single turn, and then get out of Marton Stromgold and make that one big attack. And when you attack with Marton, all of your soldiers with Shadow get through and they're pumped because of Marton's ability.
Mm-hmm.
It was a red-white deck. I put Goblin Legionnaire in that deck. I think I have a couple copies in there right now. I have not played this. I have not played this deck against you yet, but it's coming in the near future. I liked him because he doesn't have Shadow, but because of that sacrifice ability, you can use this to push through 2 damage, not only to your opponent, but also, to any creature they might have. I like that it can also double as removal.
Yeah, definitely. It has some like Mog Fanatic type removal built in. And it's, I think for 2 mana, it's pretty fair. It's nice little creature.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
This is part of a cycle of cards, actually, that includes Gaia's Skyfolk, which is the 1 blue, 1 green, 2/2 flying elf merfolk.
I like the Skyfolk.
The other ones are Llanowar Dead, the black-green zombie elf, Razorfin Hunter, the merfolk goblin, and another one that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
By the way, Goblin Legionnaire on Gatherer. What is it? It had 4.153 rating. Pretty good.
Damn, that's higher than I thought it was going to be. I
There's
like it.
several of
I
these.
like it.
Sorry. Huh?
I like it, but I'm surprised that it's over 4.
Yeah, I like it, but yeah, I think it once you start playing with it, you probably like notice more utility with it than on its face, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm.
Even the white ability, like you don't think of that ability being great all the time, but if it's just the second ability that a creature has, you know what I mean? Like it's good without that, and then on top of it, it's like icing on the cake, and you might still get some use out of the white ability.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because it's any creature or player, you could use that to, protect like one of your important creatures.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Next card. I said I deliberately I specifically said alphabetically and then I screwed that up. In my list I have Captain Sisay under Goblin Legionnaire for some reason.
Next in alphabetical order, Captain Sisay.
Reverse alphabetical order from the middle and then back down.
I didn't know Captain Sisay was a soldier. I have Captain Sisay in my first commander deck called The Pump, named after the 1970s documentary starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou
There he
Ferrigno.
goes.
I put Captain Sisay in the pump because there's, several other legendary cards in the pump. I love gold creatures. If I can put a gold creature in my deck that can tutor for other gold cards, I'm gonna do it. I had no idea it was a soldier.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a soldier either. I just was thinking legend. Uh, but yeah, so it's a human. She is a human soldier. So if that helps in any other way too, there you go. But she's two colorless, one green, one white, 2/2, legendary human soldier. And you can tap her to search your library for a legend. Now it says, sorry, I'll read the errata. Search your library
Oh,
for a legendary card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So I forgot, I was just thinking, a legend, but this could get like a legendary land, for example.
yeah,
Uh, I was thinking if they ever unban Caracas,
they
that
won't.
would be huge for this card because now you can tap
Yeah.
her to tutor for your Caracas.
They won't though. It would be
I
so
know,
terrible for the format.
I know, yeah.
Uh I can use Captain Sisay in the pump. My first ever old frame commander deck that is named after the 1970s documentary featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno called Pumping Iron. I can use Captain Sisay to tutor for a legendary land that you tried to tell me to take out in a previous episode of the Old Mage
I didn't
MTG
try to tell you to
podcast.
take it out. No.
Pendelhaven.
I was just wondering if, it was going to be useful all the time since everything else was pumping your creatures, but you pointed out,
Not all the time.
how you thought it would still be useful, and I agreed. I like Pendlehaven. I've put in
Captain
my
Sisay.
commander deck probably too, by the way.
Captain Sisay is yeah, it was almost $50 at some point. It's come back down quite a bit, 20 something.
Yeah, it
49 market
spiked. I
price.
remember when it spiked. I picked one up and I remember like getting a pretty decent price for it and I was stoked, but uh it's come back down. It was still less than this though when I bought it, so that was nice.
That's good.
Um, but yeah, in another format, non-commander, you could still use this to tutor for your Caracas, or you could tutor for, there's other legendary lands and legendary cards. So, um, I wonder how many legendary cards there are in like pre-modern, that are some sort of like off thing. Like, are there any legendary enchantments?
I have no idea actually.
Yeah, I know there are
Uh,
multicolored enchantments, but I don't know if there are any that are like legendary. Or other card types other than lands or creatures.
Something isn't a land. Legendary sorcery.
Yeah,
Legendary instant.
yeah,
Don't think those exist.
probably in modern, maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
I think there are legendary spells. I might be wrong.
I was looking through modern card pools recently, and no, I wasn't looking through modern card pools. This is what I was doing. I was looking for Atog decks because my current commander deck is Atog. And I'm trying to do an old frame, but I was interested in seeing what people were doing with Atog decks that also played new frame cards, modern cards. And I saw quite a few Atog decks that are trying the same strategy I'm trying, where they're going mostly with an enchantment style build
Uh-huh.
inside of an Atog deck. And if you get into the modern card bowl, there are enchantment creatures
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that they've blended some
that
things. Now
do
you have
all sorts of cool
artifacts with
things.
color.
Yeah. Which would make what I'm trying to do so much more powerful, but I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. I'm limiting myself. I don't want to buy, I can't, I have too many old frame cards I want to buy. I can't be buying modern cards too. Can't just, the budget, it's just not there. Okay. Captain
All right.
Sisay.
So the other card I alluded to from that cycle is Putrid Warrior
Featured
from
Warrior
Apocalypse.
from the
It's a
Apocalypse cycle.
yeah, 1 black, 1 white, 2/2 soldier zombie warrior, zombie soldier warrior. Whenever Putrid Warrior deals damage, choose one. Each player loses 1 life. Each player gains 1 life.
Hmm.
So I don't know. It has a 3.3 rating. It doesn't really blow me away. Uh,
Yeah.
if for some reason you really wanted that like soldier zombie thing going on, maybe it would fit. But I mean, you probably also have other options. So I don't know. It's okay.
I've seen this guy before and I've thought, as much as I like gold creatures, I still haven't put him in any decks. Really the only kind of decks I would consider putting him in are zombie decks. The only zombie deck I've ever built so yet, I haven't fully built it yet. It's just online on Moxfield. And I'm still playing around with what exactly I want in my 60 card pool. The only zombie deck I built is just mono black so far. I
Mhm.
haven't spiked in white. And if I did spike in white, I don't think, I mean, the Putrid Warrior, it's not worth it to put the Putrid Warrior in. It's not worth it to spike white into your zombie deck to get the Putrid Warrior.
Yeah, with black, there's so many strong zombies that I don't know if this has, much of a chance of making the cut. And then,
Yeah,
like you said, you're gonna add white where you're gonna want white for things like your swords to plowshares and disenchant, maybe.
exactly.
Uh,
Not for Putrid Warrior though. Yeah.
if you had like one thing in there that was like, if you put white in for like one thing that helped soldiers, maybe, okay, and then you were using like black soldiers and this guy or whatever, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna get to the black soldiers soon, and we're gonna find out that we don't have many to pick from.
I'm over here on the side scrolling through. I went to Scryfall. I typed in legendary super type and I looked in pre-modern. I haven't gotten through everything yet, but I'm just seeing so far creatures and lands. And I've
Okay.
come across two artifacts.
Oh, okay. That's
One
cool.
is Legacy Weapon, that's a legendary artifact, and there's Mirari, which is a legendary artifact.
Oh, okay. So you could tutor for a Mirari with Captain
Yeah,
Sisay.
yeah.
What was the first one you said?
Legacy Weapon. It is 7 colorless legendary artifact. You can pay 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red, 1 green to exile target permanent.
Oh, I
If
remember this
legacy,
'cause of the art with the Weatherlight
yeah,
chip.
yeah. If Legacy Weapon would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, reveal Legacy Weapon, shuffle it into its owner's library instead.
Okay.
So it's removal of anything
Yeah.
for
Rating 4.15 on Gatherer.
of Legacy Weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely nasty, but it's very high casting cost, and it takes
Yeah.
5 mana, 1 of each color to destroy something. Maybe I'll put it in a Tagatog. I doubt that. 7 casting
Just
cost.
glancing at the comments, it looks like maybe people like it for synergy with modern cards or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't really see myself trying to play this.
Yeah. I would have been psyched if I pulled it out of a deck when I was, I mean, if I pulled it out of a pack when I was 13, I would have been like, I'm going to destroy everybody with this.
Everyone's going down.
And then I cast it for 7 mana when I have 1 life left, and then somebody disenchants it. And then I keep trying it anyways. Okay. Putrid Warrior.
Two more multicolored soldiers, unless you have any.
Nope.
Next one is Ranger and Vec.
I love the Ranger and Vec. I haven't played the Ranger and Vec
Okay.
yet. I don't. It's not that good.
Well,
But
stand by your first comment because I had something to say about this.
I just like First Strike. I
Yeah.
like gold creatures. I
Mhm.
like the art on it. I like playing green-white decks, and I like the fact that it's a soldier, and I could put it in a deck with Anthem effects, and then I could have potentially like a 4/4 first striker or a 5/5 first striker. Now it's not great, but like I have fun with this in an Anthem style deck. That's what I have to say about Ranger and Beck.
Okay,
I
cool.
didn't say what it was. You can say what it is now.
Okay. It's Ranger and Beck, human soldier archer ranger, 1 white, 1 green, 1 colorless, so it's 3 casting cost. It's 2/2 first strike, and you can pay a green to regenerate it. So my first thought when I saw this was like I was kind of underwhelmed. I almost didn't put it into the episode. I was like, trying to keep the number of soldiers to a modest amount here. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, eh. And then I went on Gatherer and it's a 4.03 rating. And I started looking at some of the comments and people were talking about how much they like it. And I thought about it more and I was like, yeah, I kind of do like this. It has 2 abilities. It's pretty hard to kill. I don't think it's too bad. A lot of people talk about giving it something like a Basilisk color or, other modern cards that like Death Touch.
Okay.
Um,
That's right, because when you combine First Strike with Death Touch, it kills everything, right? Without dying. Like, am I thinking about that
You
correctly?
kill anything without dying.
If you put Death Touch on Ranger and a creature with First Strike, let's say Ranger and a Beck, it's 2/2. You attack, and they block with a 5/5. Their 5/5 dies.
Yeah.
Right? Because First Strike damage happens first. They get Death Touched. Your first striker survives.
That's unless I'm totally wrong, I would assume that is what happens.
That's how I think it works too. Okay.
Yeah.
I never play creatures with Death Touch, so it's hard for me to remember exactly how that works, but I believe that is how it works when you
Unless
pair
the
it with
timing
First
on it
Strike.
says something specifically about dying later, like at the end of turn, but I think that would work.
I don't think there is.
It causes any amount of damage dealt by the source to be lethal damage, so it would just work like lethal damage then, I guess.
In the damage steps, there's like when you're dealing with a creature with First Strike, it's separated out. It's been a while since I've read the rules how First Strike damage is actually dealt, but I think it's broken up into its own separate stage when you have a First Striker.
But yeah, so I warmed up to this after a minute or two of like reading and looking at it. It's really hard to get rid of if you think about it. Some people said the First Strike and the Regenerate would be redundant, which I kind of understand, but having both of them is great because the Regenerate protects it from direct damage, like from removal. So it is pretty hard to get rid of. And like, we just talked about, if you give it Death Touch, then it's like super, super nasty. But you can buff it as a soldier too, since it has the soldier type now, it might be getting +2/+2 already from the other stuff going on in your deck. And now it's a pretty nasty first striker. So yeah, I do like this.
Great mustache too. One of the best
great
mustaches in
mustache.
Premodern.
I like the art on this. I was going to say that. It reminds me
It is
of
really good.
some like Arabian Nights art or older art.
Randy Elliott.
Huh?
Randy Elliott.
Randy Elliott. Yeah.
I'm scrolling through Scryfall still. I'm seeing a few more legendary artifacts in the Premodern card pool. Predator Flagship, which is 5 colorless. You pay 2 colorless to give target creature flying until end of turn. You can also pay 5 colorless and tap the flagship to destroy target creature with flying. And then there's Skyship Weatherlight, which is 4 colorless. When Skyship Weatherlight comes into play, search your library for any number of artifact and or creature cards, remove them from the game, then shuffle your library. You can pay 4 colorless and tap to choose a card at random that was removed from the game with Skyship Weatherlight. Put that card into your hand. So it's a rather roundabout mana intensive tutor.
Okay.
But you could do that for any number of creatures, any number of artifact and or creature cards. I never liked it when they're like, remove this from the game and then get it back after it's been removed from the game. Words are supposed to mean something. Removed from the game.
Yeah.
There should not be any way to get something back once it's been removed from the game.
I agree on the topic of how they changed how exile works since when we played. I don't really like that too much, but I guess you could argue that it adds some depth to the game. But yeah, I mean, they could have just created a new mechanic and left removed from the game, how it was.
Yeah. Limbo. They could have made Limbo.
But
Put
also,
it
I
into
agree,
Limbo
just from
essentially.
like a practical perspective, I don't typically like cards that do something like that where they exile things temporarily, and then like when the permanent leaves, then it comes back in automatically. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, I feel like I'm gonna lose that benefit. Although I know some people combo into that.
Yeah.
So
And then a third legendary artifact that I found, Sword of the Chosen, 2 colorless.
oh yeah.
Tap, target legendary creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Okay.
And I think that's all of the non-creature, non-land legendary permanents in the
Hmm.
pre-modern card pool.
What's
5 of them.
the artifact from Legends that taps legendary that taps legends? You know what I'm talking about? Did I make
No,
that up?
no.
Never mind.
I know there's an artifact in Legends that taps other artifacts called Relic Barrier.
That's probably what I'm thinking of.
But anyways,
Oh, maybe also I'm kind of like mixing, like melding that together with Arena of the Ancients, maybe. All
okay.
legends uh, become tapped when it comes into play, and they do not untap as normal.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. I know the art, but I had no idea what it did.
It's a pretty cool card.
Okay.
All right. One more. I have one more, I think.
That's what I see in the notes.
Okay, last one is Soltari Gorillas.
Sorry, Gorillas. Red, white, correct?
Correct, which I thought was pretty interesting. There's a few red white cards in here, and then this
Mm-hmm.
one is a red white shadow card, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
cool. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say that's why it's in my red, white Shadow Soldiers deck.
Shoot.
I just have one copy in, I think, because it's forecasting costs. I'm not sure what I want to do, but it's in there now.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting card. It is two colorless, one white, one red. It is a 3/2 Soltari Soldier. It has Shadow, and it has an ability for 0. The next time Soltari Gorillas would deal combat damage to an opponent this turn, it deals that damage to target creature instead. So it has Shadow, and it's basically unblockable, but you
Mm-hmm.
can redirect that damage that it deals to a creature if you want.
Yeah, I liked it. It's forecasting costs, which is what this is
Yeah.
the only thing that makes me think whether it makes me reconsider whether or not I should keep it in my deck.
If
I'm
this was
not
one
sure. It's just
colorless, one white, one red, it would be cool.
it would be a killer. Yeah, because then it would be a 3 casting cost reusable lightning bolt essentially. Because you
Yeah,
could direct 3 damage to either your opponent or their creatures.
right.
Now it's a permanent, so it can be blown off the board, but
Yeah.
yeah, it might be.
I mean, I still like it at this casting cost. It's just a little fragile. You probably,
Yeah.
you know, with your soldier stuff and your white, it would be nice to have some stuff to protect this in there. Maybe some of those like NVEC uh damage redirectors or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Or Mother of Runes, give it like protection from a color, keep it alive. But yeah, you'd want to keep it alive if you're paying for it, probably.
I do like it.
There's a
54
blue
cents.
white.
I
Huh?
like that it's budget also. 54 cents from
Nice.
Tempest.
Very nice. We like these. The Tempest Rare too. That's a nice cheap Tempest Rare. Um, yeah, I
The
think those were
multicolor
all the
soldiers.
multicolored ones I wanted to talk about. There might be more. I know there's one that's like a blue white. I forget if he's a lion, Catman. We just talked about him on one of these recent episodes.
He's
He has like
big. He's like a 5/5. Yeah.
he has two different abilities, a blue
Yeah.
ability and a white ability. Uh, kind of okay, but just I don't know, a little expensive and specific. Sorry, I
No, I
can't
think
remember.
these are the most playable ones. These are strong. And I actually have them in every I have them in I
I
have
have
all
them
of
in
them.
every deck.
I have all of them in a deck other than Putrid Warrior. I
Oh,
think they're
okay.
all playable. I think they're all strong.
Cool. Yeah, I think so too. So, moving on to black and then moving on to green. There's only 2 soldiers I found in black, basically at all in pre-modern. Uh, those are Douthie Slayer and
Mhm.
Douthie Warlord.
Okay.
Douthie Slayer, but obviously both of these are shadow creatures.
Mhm.
Work. Douthie Slayer is 2 black, Douthie Soldier. It's a 2/2 with shadow, and it has to attack each turn if able. We mentioned this before. We were talking about shadow creatures and stuff. Uh, I forget if this is one of the ones you said you really liked and had in the deck, or was this a marginal one for you?
It is a card that I like, and it is a card that is in my black blue shadow deck, which you have
Ah,
faced
okay,
before. You have not faced a red white shadow deck. You have
right.
faced the black blue shadow deck,
Okay.
which is a deck I put together just because I wanted to play Shadow Mage Infiltrator.
Oh yeah, that was
There's
good though.
also
By the way, it was a good deck.
some hatreds in that deck. And the idea is just to play a creature every turn and turn it sideways. And then to try to at some point get at least ahead of my opponent in life total,
So
and
you could keep
then
it.
hatred to finish.
The hatred, yeah, that's pretty brutal finisher in that deck. It was a good idea. So yeah, I think we covered it, right? Like this is
Yeah, there are quite a few Douthies with Shadow in the pre-modern card pool, but yeah, they're not soldiers. They're knights, they're hounds, they're minions,
oh
they're
right, okay.
zombies, they're horrors, but Douthie Slayer is a Douthie soldier.
So, and we're gonna see this, by the way, in a few of these colors. There are several shadow soldiers today. So you could definitely make some kind of shadow soldier deck. Uh,
Mhm.
Interesting combo. Figure out some ways to pump your shadow soldiers, and now they're mostly unblockable. The other one was Douthie Warlord.
I like Douthie Warlord.
I'm trying to remember now. Let's see. Okay, Douthie Warlord is 1 colorless, 1 black, Douthie Soldier, star 1 shadow. Its power is equal to the number of creatures with shadow on the battlefield. So, obviously, in a shadow deck, this becomes a, you know, multi-power /1 shadow creature for 2 mana.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
Pretty good. And since what you want out of your shadow creatures is offensive capability pretty much anyways, why not? If he had 2 toughness, he wouldn't really be any harder to kill, you know?
I like him a lot. I don't think it was in the deck when I played you with my blue black deck, but it is in now. I found it later and I put it in.
I think I
Because
mentioned it to you after we played.
you might have, yeah, okay. Uh,
Steve
at its worst, it's a 1/1 for 2, which isn't great.
with
But
Shadow.
with Shadow, yeah. But if you're, I mean, my Shadow deck is full of creatures. It's
Yeah.
creature heavy. I'm almost always going to have more than
Yeah, it's an
the warlord
automatic
on the
2/1.
board. And the other shadow creatures that are available to you in black in the pre-modern card pool, they all top out at 2 power, except for one, Dothy Marauder, which is 3 casting costs, and I wasn't playing that one. I was instead playing Douthie Mercenary in the 3 casting cost spot because that's 2/1 and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for every 1 colorless and 1 black you pay. So you could have the potential to get it bigger than 3/1.
Yeah, okay.
So they're all 2/1 or 2 power max. And I mean, there's not much to the deck other than turning creatures sideways and attacking every turn. So it's really helpful if you can do more than 2 damage with some creatures. And Douthie Warlord gives you the opportunity to get more than 2 damage
Yeah.
pushed through every time you
It's
turn your
kind of
creature
you're a big
sideways.
bad.
Yeah.
And he's only 2 for it, so it just
And it's only
takes
2 for it. Yeah.
getting some other guys out before.
At its worst, it's not that bad. A 1/1 with Shadow for 2.
Yeah.
At its worst, it's all right. Yeah.
Okay, so those are really the only 2 in black. Moving on to green. The first one I want to talk about is Llanowar Cavalry.
Oh, I was typing in a different one.
Sorry, yeah, I mixed it up on you.
I
I
don't
do
know the
that
green
sometimes.
ones.
It's fun.
I don't know the green ones at all. Like the black ones I was familiar with because I built my shadow deck and they happen to be the 2 soldiers in my shadow deck.
Yeah, I did
Oh.
not know these cards really, or some of them at least. But there's not too many here either. Llanowar Cavalry is 1 green, 2 colorless. It's a 1/4 soldier. Let me see, I assume it's an elf, probably.
Looks like it would be.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
There's a Llanowar elf there, but then there's a human.
Oh my god, it's a human soldier. The Llanowar
Wow.
Cavalry is a human soldier. Okay.
Okay.
It's 1/4. And for 1 white mana, you can have it basically have vigilance this turn. Attacking doesn't cause Llanowar Cavalry to tap this turn for 1 white mana. What do you think? I don't know.
I think it's underwhelming. It's
Yeah.
too expensive
Yeah.
mana wise for what it is.
It sucks because like 1/4 isn't too bad. I like having 4 toughness. For something for 3 mana, if it was just like a little bit better, that would be nice. But yeah, it has a 2.4 rating. I don't know. It's not even an elf. It doesn't get elf synergy. I feel like if this could be pumped by elf stuff and soldier stuff, it would be maybe a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, oh, 1/4. Okay, so that'll make a good early game blocker, but then it costs 3 mana.
True.
Who's
Yeah.
this
Good
card
point.
for?
Yeah, you're not going to get it out right off the bat, and
Yeah.
you know by turn 3 or whatever, it's a underwhelming creature.
I think I like the art though, so it's got that going for it.
Art's interesting.
I'm gonna pull up on Scryfall real quick because the images are sharper.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, did I spell it wrong? What did I spell wrong? I spelled Llanowar correctly. Did I spell
Cavalry with the V first. Cavalry. Calvary is like a biblical location.
Shit. I'm making myself look like a fool here live on the podcast. CAVALRY. See, Scryfall needs that autocomplete function that MTG Stocks has, so I don't make myself look like a goddamn buffoon live on the podcast. Yeah, the art's so much nicer on
Oh, it
Scryfall.
looks
You got
better
the
now, yeah,
goblins.
when you blow it up with all this resolution. I was going to say it was kind of just like boring art, but I like this orc guy at the bottom here. He looks like a He-Man character.
Oh yeah, they are. They probably are all orcs. Ugh, not goblins, right? Probably orcs.
I don't know.
Can't tell actually. Hard
Yes.
to
Are
say.
there even orc magic cards? There's a couple, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then you got a Banalish soldier, and then you got the Llanowar elves next to him.
Okay.
Fighting side by side. For the first time, the elves welcomed Banalish soldiers into the forest with something other than arrows.
Oh. Friendship.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Cavalry, underwhelming.
Next one. Let's go with Spike Soldier.
Spike soldier. Is this a spike?
It's a spike. And I
Holy
can't remember
smokes.
if we talked about this when we talked about spikes.
I don't know.
In any case, it's 2 green, 2 colorless. Summon Spike, or well, I guess it's Spike Soldier now. Looking at that real quick. Soldier.
Comes into play with 3+1/+1 counters. And then you can pay 2 colors to remove a +1 counter, +1/+1 counter from Spike Soldier, and put it on target creature. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Spike Soldier. Spike Soldier gets +2/+2 until end of turn.
Okay.
Can you remove those too? Probably not.
Sure, why not?
Could you? That's why I wonder if you had a ton of mana to
if you
sink in
do it
this.
before they go away at the end of turn, right?
That's okay. That's what I'm wondering. That would be actually kind of cool.
It's gonna have 3 counters. You can spend 2 to put one of them on something else, and you can remove one. Oh no, that's not a count. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. That's not a counter then.
The +2/+2 aren't counters.
To give it +2/+2 until end of turn.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that wouldn't be another counter you could, because otherwise it would just be like infinite right off the bat.
Yeah,
right?
that's why I was like, can you just pump a whole bunch of mana into this thing and then just pump everything up? But yes, it says Spike Soldier gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It doesn't say when you remove a +1/+1 counter, put a +2/+2 counter on Spike Soldier until end of turn.
So every
you can't move it.
+1/+1 counter is good for turning into 2/2 +2/+2, or for going on to another creature.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not too, it has some versatility.
The spikes, there's too much. There's something with my brain In Magic, when I see counter, I check out. Like I don't I don't know
It's
why.
like Fallen Empires PTSD or something.
It might be, but immediately I see a counter in the text box and I'm like, I'm not, I lost interest and I move
I'm
on.
not doing this.
I don't even know what it does. Yeah.
I have a similar thing when I get I start to check out when there's more than one X. When something is like
Okay.
two
Yeah.
X's in the
Yeah.
casting cost, I'm like, oh, now I'm like doubling every. Oh my god.
But you know what? When it says +1/+1 in the text box, I get excited. But if it says +1/+1 counter, I'm out. I don't want to have anything to do with it. That's Spike Soldier.
Yeah, so that's Spike Soldier. This seems okay, I guess. I mean, you can make it 6/6, and then it's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you can move those counters around. I don't know. I feel like some of those other spikes, the one was pretty decent. You probably just use the other ones, but I'd have to look
Yeah,
at them again.
I can't remember them, but there are some spikes that get more use, and I feel like they might cost a little bit less mana. And you can
Yes.
also use them to move the counters onto other things. And maybe they don't get the +2/+2 bonus that lasts only until end of turn, but that's not really why you use the spikes anyways.
Not all of them let you move the counters, so I think the ones that do are the better ones.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Just that, like, if you really want to play a deck that has spikes and soldiers in it, maybe, but otherwise I'd probably just move past this.
Yeah.
Um, Next up is Veteran Explorer. This is a fairly famous card,
Veteran
fairly
Explorer.
popular.
Oh, yes. I remember the art. Don't remember what it does.
Veteran Explorer is a one green human soldier scout. It's 1/1. When it dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. It's from Weatherlight.
Everybody can do that.
Everybody can do
Why do I want to play this?
that.
Other than like group hug stuff, is there other reasons why you might
I
want
mean,
to do?
uh,
Maybe if you're running a deck where you punish people for playing lands, but you don't get punished for playing the lands.
um, if they're not playing too many basic lands,
Yes, that's also true.
it might not help them too much. I think when people play it, they probably just don't mind that their opponent's getting the lands too.
Yeah.
They're just like willing to take that downside because it's a 1/1. I mean, because it's a 1 drop and
Hmm.
it gets you lands, and I guess you're just trying to out ramp them or something.
And
It's rated as, huh?
if you're playing exploration, you can play 2 lands per turn. They just get to play the 1, so you still get ahead, even though you both get to tutor for the 2 basics.
Mhm. It has over 4 rating,
Wow.
Gatherer.
Okay.
People seem to like it in mill decks.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Uh,
That's good too.
Very good with Cabal Therapy, and by very good, I mean disgustingly backbreaking.
Cabal Therapy is a discard card, and it's a
Yeah, I'm not
famous
sure. I have
card,
to
but
think for a second why this works.
I can't remember exactly what the text is on Cabal Therapy, but I feel like you need to name a card and then blah, blah, blah. Name a non-land card. Target player reveals his or her hand and discards all cards with that name. I'm not getting it.
Flashback. Maybe it's for the flashback. Sacrifice a creature.
Yeah,
So
but then you sacrifice a creature, and again, you just get to name a non-land card, and target player reveals his or her hand and discards all cards with that name. Why is it
what this comment
backbreaking?
means. Edit this part out.
Okay. Why is it backbreaking if their hand is now full of 2 basic lands and you have a discard spell that discards non-land cards from their hand that you still need to name? It's not like Veteran Explorer also. We're just gonna say, who was that? Read the name of the person who left that comment. Let's shame them, unless I'm wrong.
Laser beams.
Laser.
LAZR beams.
What the hell are you talking about, laser beams?
I mean, don't get ahead of ourselves. Maybe we still don't understand, but I don't
There is
really
a
get
lot that I don't understand. But Each player may search his or her library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put those lands into play. Okay, well, the lands, oh, sorry, the lands don't go to the hand, so they're just going to play.
Yeah.
But still, so what? So Veteran Explorer hasn't affected their hand at all. What does that allow you to do with Cabal Therapy? I can't figure it out. If anybody knows, tell me why I'm stupid in the comments. If
We
you
got way
don't
off
think I'm
topic here with
stupid,
this one comment. Geez.
if you don't think I'm stupid, tell us that laser beams is stupid in the comments. Not stupid. Nobody's stupid. We're all trying our best. Tell me that I'm simply not understanding in the comments below, or tell us laser beam just isn't making much sense. Okay. Veteran Explorer. I don't love it. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. What did you say it's rated on, Gatherer?
Yeah, a 4.07.
Holy bejesus.
I've looked at it before and always been like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to put that in my deck. So I don't know. Maybe there's just something about it that's better than we're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to that maybe.
From Witherlight.
Last green soldier.
A hidden
This is a bit
card.
of a tricky one. Hidden Gorillas. This won't come up in your fancy soldier searches because it is an enchantment. And soldier is only in the text box.
What we're here for, people. We go deep. We find the soldiers that aren't even creatures. We find the enchantment soldiers that you can't find, but Alex found them. What are they?
I love this card. I've talked about it before. I think it's super cool. It's 1 green enchantment. When one of your opponents casts an artifact, it becomes a 5/3 creature with trample that counts as a soldier.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah, 5/3 trample for 1. Love it. And soldier synergy. Great. The only thing I think we're finding is that there's just not much to do with green and soldiers. So, this might be the only green soldier you'd be putting in your white-green soldier deck.
Well, you got your Ranger and Vec. Make your Ranger and
Oh,
Vec
yeah, the Ranger and Vec too. Yeah, that was
hidden
good.
Gorillas deck.
Yeah. Okay. Now we have 2. I feel like that's worth it now. You have 2 different green additions to the mostly white deck or whatever. The only problem is now they have to cast artifacts. So, I mean, this is more of a commander card than it is for a 60 card deck.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I build some decks that don't have artifacts in them at all, I don't know.
Same. You're just going to be, this is going to be doing nothing for you when you're playing against me for the most part in the 60 card game. Especially in pre-modern where you don't have Soul Ring.
Yeah.
I didn't make that
But in
up,
Commander,
right?
Lots of people run Mana Rocks in Commander, so
yeah, I feel like there's a lot more.
Yeah, it's gonna see some action.
And there's 4 people playing, so somebody's gonna be laying down an artifact.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was green. I was actually surprised. I thought there would be a few more green, like some elf soldiers or something.
Yeah.
But those were the only ones I found. Again, I don't claim that this is completely exhaustive, so
This is completely exhaustive. The orders for Alex were to go deep, find all the soldiers that there are in the pre-modern card pool.
First red soldier, Firebrand Ranger.
On to the red ones. I have never heard of Firebrand Ranger before. Let's see what it is. There's there's a couple Firebrands actually.
There were some kind of bad red soldiers, so I skipped some of them, and some of these that we're going to talk about aren't even very good. The ones that I did include.
Okay.
There are some bad ones. This one I didn't hate.
We got something for red green. I've been building lots of red green lately.
This is a 1 colorless, 1 red, 2/1 soldier. You pay a green and tap it to put a basic land card from your hand into play.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, not bad.
Nothing crazy, not terrible though.
Nothing crazy,
might just get
not
cut
terrible.
for something else, but in a red green deck might be okay.
Yeah, not bad. Might like to draft this fella. I don't know. If it was there.
Yeah, this would be great.
Like, I'll take this maybe.
Sealed format, that'd be kind of cool. Okay, I want to just get moving on past that one.
Yeah, that's all right. From Invasion.
Okay. Flailing Soldiers from Mercadian Masks.
Uh-oh, this sounds like it's goofy.
Sounds like it's goofy.
Is it goofy?
Kinda. Flailing Soldier is 1 red, human soldier, 2/2. You can pay 1 mana, 1 colorless. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and any player may activate this ability.
Oh.
You can pay 1 colorless mana. It gets -1/-1 until end of turn, and any player may activate this ability. So it is, you're right, it is a goofy kind of card.
They can kill it for 2 mana.
Yes, they can kill it for 2 mana, but
I'm
you
de-
can respond by saving its life.
I know I'm not playing this shit.
No, I'm probably not either, unless it was in some sort of gimmick deck or a fun commander deck where I wanted everyone to, like, I don't know,
Fight over
participate.
my 1-drop.
Yeah.
Market price of 12 cents. Yeah.
But it is a 2/2 1-drop.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'm underestimating it, but I don't like the fact that anybody at any time could just
I know,
eliminate my
I
creature
know,
for
I
2
know.
colorless mana. Yeah.
I know. But if you play it in some sort of like a mana advantage deck, maybe you played this in kind of like a red-blue control, some kind of stacks or winter orb kind of thing.
Okay. Winter orb, land destruction.
Yeah.
And
Haste 2, you get this guy down fast. Attacks immediately, and then you can pump it. Your opponent doesn't have any mana to do anything. Probably
okay, I'm
not.
changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. I'm making a new. It's going to be the new hotness, the new hot Ponza deck in pre-modern. It's going to be 2 power and up 1-drops, whatever 1-drops I can find in red and green that are 2 power and up, and it's going to be like
your Gazban ogres.
Yeah, it's going to be, and there's going to be winter orbs and thermokarsts and stone rain and flailing soldiers, and I'm going to get crushed.
I'm gonna get crushed. Hey, this has a rating of 4, Steve.
Well, I see. Yeah, I might be missing something, but yeah, it's just too easy to get rid of.
This guy is a tempo machine. Give him a try if you haven't already. Throw him onto the battlefield first turn and watch the gears turn in your opponent's head as he tries to do the quick math on how to best eliminate this weird threat while still playing their early game ramp.
Oh, I'm giving him a try. I'm doing it. Changed my mind.
And in multiplayer, he's hilarious, play politics. I think maybe people are rating it high because it's fun and like
because it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer and some stuff like that.
I don't know. It might not be that bad in land destruction.
Yeah.
Might not be
If
that
you're
bad.
ahead, if you have more mana than your opponent, yeah, it could be okay. And then the soldier synergy, you have to make use of that probably.
Yeah, well, I mean, if this guy was in a deck, there wouldn't be other really soldier synergy cards in there, I don't think.
Yeah, probably not so much.
Unless there's a land destruction soldier, like some guy who like detonates landmines or something. A soldier.
There was one I didn't include, but it was like I think you had to sacrifice your own lands to pump it or something, and I was like, I don't want that.
I will say, unique. Okay, so I'll give it.
Yeah, unique.
I'll give it kudos for being a different kind of card and maybe kind of fun, and maybe I will.
Yes.
Win Lobster Con with Flailing Soldier. Maybe. Don't know.
Okay. Next one is Gerard's Irregulars. I don't think I like this one too much. This was almost didn't get included.
Oh, it's another Mercadian. Okay, so maybe Mercadian Mask was full of goofy red soldiers.
Seems like it has a few soldiers in it, yeah. This is 1 red, 4 colorless.
That's a lot.
Human soldier. It is a 4/2 with trample and haste.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, do I want to play this over Ball Lightning?
No.
And I don't.
No, it's overwhelming when you have Ball Lightnings available, when you have Fiashino Sandstalkers available.
But it's a soldier, not to sound like a broken record. So, I mean, you might put this into play with haste, and it's already bigger than 4/2.
What's it going to be pumped with, though? It'd have to be a red-white soldier deck, Anthem effects?
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that, because, some of the stuff that pumps soldiers is really more relying on them being white or.
Yeah, a lot of them are. Or at a minimum, you have to play white because it's a white Anthem spell where you can name soldiers.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I wasn't too impressed with this card.
Okay. Another
really
goofy.
More survivable than a Ball Lightning, Yeah.
Another goofy red soldier from Mercadian Masks.
Next one is Goblin Trenches.
I like this one,
Do you?
and I need to do something with it. I feel like it might have been really good at some points in Magic the Gathering. I feel like some people might have done some really good things,
Rated 4.319.
but I haven't figured out exactly what to do with it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Goblin Trenches is an enchantment. One colorless, one red, one white. For 2 mana and sacrifice a land, you put 2/1/1 red and white Goblin Soldier creature tokens into play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so obviously costly with the land sacking, but potentially a way to bust out a whole bunch of tokens like all at once. You could do this in the face of an Armageddon or right as you're going to Armageddon.
That's what I'm thinking. Is this what people do with it for the most part? Blow up the
I'm,
board and also put some
I'm guessing
soldiers onto the board at the same time, so then your opponent has nothing.
a
You
lot of
got
the white soldier decks had Armageddons in them.
yeah,
So
that's true.
white red, I mean,
It
probably do
already
the thing.
it already fits naturally into the white weenie archetype. You got anthem effects. All of a sudden, you've blown up all the land, and you're putting out two creatures that might have pluses associated with them. So they're not even 1/1s any longer. Maybe they're 2/2s. Maybe they're 3/3s. It
Someone
seems really good.
mentions using
Seems
it with
good.
Pandemonium from Exodus, which is an enchantment. Whenever any creature comes into play, that creature's controller may choose to have it deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So all those tokens then would each do 1 damage to whatever
Yeah.
you want them to do.
A card that when I first heard about, I wanted to put in my Fires deck, but I played it against you a couple times and you never knew that it was there because it just always sat in my hand because I was afraid to play it because I didn't know exactly what kind of decks you were playing. I didn't know what you had waiting for me, and I was worried that I would die first to the Pandemonium. But later I learned there's a whole deck called Panda Burst, which is Pandemonium plus Saproling Burst.
It's a great name.
Yeah, Panda Burst. But
Few of the things
interesting,
people mention
interesting to
with
play with
this are
this.
modern cards, so I think maybe that's why it had maybe like a moment.
I do like it though. It does seem like you can build a fun deck with it. It does seem like you build a good deck with it, and it's only 29 cents.
Yeah,
Apocalypse
that's a
rare.
cool flavor too. Goblins are definitely digging those trenches,
They
messing
do
up your
that.
land.
They do that.
Okay, next two. We can go through quick if you don't like them. I wasn't sure about these too much. Keldon Berserker.
Hold on.
Keldon Berserker. I think these are both from Prophecy, which should tell you something maybe. They're Keldon Berserker is 1 red, 3 colorless. It's a 2/3 human soldier berserker. Whenever it attacks, if you control no untapped lands, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't really hate this in red because it's probably easy for you to like, tap out with some damage or, bringing out some creatures or a haste enchantment or something, you know, just it's probably not too hard to make sure you're tapped out when you attack with this guy, and then he's a 5/3. But he's still forecasting cost. So pass.
Yeah, it's all right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
not awful, but
constructed deck, I don't think I put them in.
2.7 rating.
Not many people do. 7 cents.
Oh well.
I'm
Uh
consistently underwhelmed by Keldons.
yeah,
There's
right.
there's there's got to be some Keldon bangers out there that we just haven't come across yet.
For
But
being such a like big, tough, beefy barbarian, society or whatever they are, like a lot of their cards are just kind of meh.
all my life they've been underwhelming me since I was a youngin, since I was a 13-year-old pulling Keldon Warlords out of
I
revised
loved it
Magic the
right when I
Gathering
saw it.
packs.
That card was that went in like right in my deck from, as soon as I saw that card when we first started playing, but then it found its way out fairly quickly too.
Yeah,
You eventually get some other big creatures or cool creatures, and you're like, okay, this never ends up growing as much as I want it to. It gets killed, killed on firebombers. I don't think I like this too much, but I can see some use for it. It's 2 red, 3 colorless. human soldier, 3/3. When Keldon Firebombers enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices all lands they control except for 3.
Woo dog.
So, I mean, I don't hate the land thing. Like you can, maybe you're playing your deck so that they can run on a few mana. In red, that's probably not too hard to do. So it can restrict your opponent, kind of like in a Winter Orbish way. Um, and you can keep running. You could be playing it with white in a white-red soldier deck, and you could be Armageddoning or something too, put on a lot of like pressure on their land. I just don't like the casting cost. It's just so 5 mana.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to think about this. I'm like, I don't know. What if you're running a kind of deck where you want to try to get ahead of your opponent and then just blow up the board? Why not just Armageddon?
Yeah,
Like
for less mana.
go all the way, go big or go home. Blow
And
it
for
all up. Why leave 3?
and for if you're playing red for 5 mana, if you're looking for some kind of late game win the game thing, like I feel like you have a ton of options for 5 mana in red to like
You do a
do a
lot.
ton of damage or wipe out a bunch of stuff, or there's something else you could do.
You could do a lot for 5 mana.
Yeah.
You could play a
So
ball lightning, 2 lightning bolts, and then sack 2 mountains for a fire blast. You could do that.
and I feel
Or
like,
you could,
there's probably a lot of other 5 casting cost red cards that I pass over already because they're, you know, pricey, but
yeah.
they might be better than this.
Interesting to see that it did have a moment in mid 2018 where it went
Oh,
from $1 to $6 in the course
wow.
of several months. So
It is a
something was
rare.
going on there.
Uh,
Something must have been printed that people were like, I need my Keldon Fire Bombers for this now.
it's
No,
rated
only printing.
3.88.
Only printing of the card.
Um, a few modern cards people mention, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm underwhelmed. Maybe my imagination just isn't big enough. I can't figure out what to do with this at the moment, but it seems like there's so much else to do. In red for 5 mana, there's so much else to do if you're playing a strategy where you want to eliminate lands on your opponent's end.
2 people mention it with a card called It That Betrays, which is an Eldrazi.
Okay.
Basically what would happen is you would get all of those lands that they sacrificed,
Okay.
and it's an 11/11 creature.
Never heard of such a thing. That's wild, Alex. What kind of world are we living in?
I found this while searching for something to pull into play with It That Betrays when a Defense of the Heart goes off. So he's going to Defense of the Heart, get this and It That Betrays, blow up all their lands, steal their lands, and then you have an 11/11, and they have to sacrifice 2 permanents whenever it attacks.
Make a wish, Alex. 1111, make a wish. Paris Hilton says that all the time in her Snapchat stories.
What's wrong with you? Moving on. 2 more red soldiers.
Okay.
That's a pretty nasty card there, man. Wow.
I was trying to see if it came out in 2018, but no, it came out in 2013.
Hmm.
And it's normally 12 casting cost.
Yes.
This is a cool frame. Don't know what this is. This gives me Desert Storm trading card vibes.
That's so weird. I have a set of Desert Storm trading cards that my
Rise
dad
of the
bought me for some
Eldrazi.
reason. I never
Keep
wanted
those
them.
sealed. Keep those sealed, Alex, one day.
Sitting there. Got
One
Storm and
day.
Norman.
It's a classic. Okay.
What a stupid thing to have trading cards of. There's a bunch of like heads of state in suits at like microphones. Like trading card. Veteran Brawlers
I
is our
knew it.
next card.
I had it pre-typed.
Did you? Okay.
Also Prophecy. Okay.
Oh yeah, I guess it is, huh? There's also a rare?
Yep.
Yeah, rare. Okay. Veteran Brawlers, 1 red, 1 colorless human soldier from Prophecy. 4/4. Veteran Brawlers can't attack if defending player controls an untapped island. Untapped land. Sorry. Veteran Brawlers can't block if you control an untapped land. What do you think, Steve?
I don't think I like it.
I don't think it's I don't
It's
know.
too
It's too much to
conditional.
think about.
It's
Yeah.
too conditional. Part of me wants to build a Balduvian Hordes Veteran Brawlers deck and find some other red creature too that's really shitty to throw in
Yeah.
there. Just play those creatures together. Big
It's
red creatures for
it's not
higher
so hard for your opponent to keep a land untapped, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
And I guess the idea is, oh, you have this down, so they're going to want to keep something untapped, which will slow down their tempo.
yeah.
So you pair this with, what was it, Keldon Berserker? No, Flailing Soldiers. You play a Flailing Soldier
Either
Veteran
one.
Brawler.
Yeah. Because the Keldon Soldier, the Keldon Berserker gets its bonus
Yeah.
if they don't have. Yeah, so that makes it, and they're from the same set, so they do work together. That's true.
I think Flailing Soldier was Mercadian Mask. Veteran Brawlers is Prophecy. Wasn't Flailing Soldier Mercadian Mask?
Oh, Veteran Soldier, yeah.
No, sorry, Flailing Soldier. Wasn't it?
Flailing Soldier was Mercadian Mask, but Veteran Brawlers, which
Veteran
also,
Brawlers
I'm
Prophecy.
sorry, not having a hard time.
This is Veteran Brawlers. I was saying
Keldon
play this with.
Berserker is what I meant to say.
Okay, what was the
Keldon
Keldon
Berserker
Berserker
is
do?
also from Prophecy and would also benefit from them.
Flailing Soldiers was the one we were talking about where somebody was like, this could be a good tempo deck, or a good tempo card. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm thinking pair this with another tempo card creature. Okay, but yes, I can see how you're saying it also works with Keldon Berserker.
Yeah, yeah.
You were
Sorry.
thinking the two Keldon cards that had this same
Yeah, with the
mechanic,
untapped lands.
untapped mechanic. I was thinking tempo,
Yeah, but both work. Yeah,
where you're like putting cards on the board that make your opponent think whether or not they actually want to tap their lands to cast something, or if it's safer for them just
and
to
land
not tap the
destruction.
lands, and land destruction.
Yeah, veteran brawlers would be pretty decent in land destruction. One thing I
Okay,
like.
so maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
I feel like it doesn't work almost all of the time, but the one time you beat your friend with this deck, it feels really fun.
Yeah. Another thing I could see this being used for is if you had some sort of like, if you didn't really care about it attacking or blocking, like you were using it to get like a sacrifice target into play for 2 mana, or like you had some card where you could like tap a creature to have it deal its damage to something like what's the green card? Uh Tracker.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the creatures like combat each other, like fight, deal each other's damage to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So for a use like that, this might be okay because you get 4 power for 2 mana, and then
Yeah.
you're using it to like attack from behind the lines.
Okay.
But that's kind of niche.
Flavor Coat. Death
Some
awaits
people
them on
mention
both
it with
fronts.
things like mana short and drain power. Okay,
It's very old school.
keep them tapped out. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, here, excellent fling fodder. That's kind of what I was talking about.
Veteran Brawlers, Rishadon Ports,
Ah, okay.
Avalanche Riders to destroy their land and put another creature.
Someone on
Maybe.
here says run with flailing soldier.
Flailing Soldier. Okay, I'm making notes. Veteran Brawlers, Flailing Soldier, Rishadon Port.
Fling.
I don't like that idea that much.
No?
It's all right, fling fodder, but it's not the greatest fling fodder.
Yeah, it could be bigger. You're right.
4 damage, and then you have to pay 2 to
It's 4
play
mana
Veteran
for 4
Brawlers, and then you have
damage,
to pay 2 to fling. So yeah, you do 4 damage for 4. Who said
And
that?
just Armageddon, I mean, if you're doing white-red, like you put this in your Armageddon-y type deck. So, okay, I see maybe some uses for it. But
Okay, I'm changing my mind. I got to play it, watch it be terrible, and then I say I was right the first time.
then remove it.
Yeah. It's only 28 cents. I like that.
Yeah.
I like finding cheap cards that make me want to fiddle around with them a little bit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
then you don't have to invest in something big to try it out or
Yeah.
proxy it or whatever. Okay, last red one, Whip Sergeant.
Whip Sergeant.
Whip Sergeant.
Ka-chish. Alex, get your whip out.
One.
You still have your big whip? Get that
I think
out.
I do. I think I. It's
Okay.
not big. It's a little whip.
No, you had a big one. Let's pause the show, and then I want you to go and then say Whip Sergeant.
Whip Sergeant is 1 red, 2 colorless. Human soldier, 2/1. It has an ability. You can spend 1 red and target creature gains haste until end of turn.
Okay.
Okay. Rated 3.
That's
I
where it
really
should
like
be
its
rated.
ability. Its mana cost is a little high.
Yeah. It's mediocre. It's kind of fun. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's ability you don't see that often. I don't know what other creatures do something like this. You might not see it at all, really, on anything else. I can't think of
Yeah,
another
I feel like
creature.
I just see it on enchantments, not on like a creature.
I don't even know how many enchantments are out there that can give like target creatures haste. I'm sure something exists, but
Well, it might give multiple creatures, like all your creatures haste, or
yes.
yeah. So yeah,
Fires
I
of
mean, I like its
Yavimaya, for instance.
ability, but it's fragile
Hmm.
and 3 mana.
It's middling. I think 3 is an appropriate rating for Whip Sergeant.
Yeah.
3 out of 5.
Okay. Last category, Steve, is the
Okay.
blue soldiers.
The Blue Soldiers.
Are you ready?
Well, I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me think about it. Should have got some coffee. Let me go get a coffee first and I'll
Okay.
be back. Okay.
Get coffee, dude.
No, let's go. I'm kidding.
Son of a bitch.
I am ready.
Okay. First one. I thought this card was interesting, but it's just so darned expensive, mana-wise. Aerial Caravan. There's a dude on a big albatross bird here flying, or a lady, someone flying on the big albatross bird. It is 2 blue, 4 colorless human soldier. It is a 4/3 flyer, and it has an ability 1 colorless and 2 blue. Remove the top card of your library from the game, and until
What am
end
I
of
doing?
turn, you may play that card as though it were in your hand.
I'm over here embarrassing myself on the show again. I'm trying to figure out how to spell Ariel.
Dude, I did the same thing today earlier.
Son of
I was like, why can't I spell Ariel right?
son of a B. Everybody's seeing it, Alex. Everybody's gonna know.
I did the same exact thing, Steve, so don't feel bad.
Nobody knew when you were doing it though. Now they're all gonna know about me.
So
Okay, I didn't hear what you said because I was too busy trying to spell Ariel, but the people, the listeners heard you. So I'll read.
they
You
did.
continue saying what you're gonna say.
I'll
I'll
catch
read.
you up. I'll catch you up quick. It's all right. It's a 4/3 flyer. For 3 mana, you can pull aside the top card of your library and play it like it was in your hand until the end of turn.
Okay.
But it's removed from the game. So if you don't play it, it stays removed from the game.
Okay.
So interesting way to like get at the top of your deck.
Mhm.
And it's 4/3 flyer is like a decent body. It's just 6 mana is tough. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels
it's the
very good
initial
to me.
casting cost that makes it rough.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have some other way to order your deck, you can just make sure even the top card of your library is a land every turn when you could just play the land.
Oh yeah, that's a neat idea.
Uh, that doesn't help though if you've already played a land for the turn.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's rated like 2.9. It's nothing crazy. I just
oh
thought it was
yeah,
a little bit interesting.
I'm trying to think of a way to like make this super useful, but it is kind of rough. It's 6 to play. It's boltable. And it's 3 just to look at the card that you then have to play or lose. Like
Yeah,
if even
that's
if you
true. So if you're not able to play, you're gonna hurt yourself. You have to make sure like everything else in your deck is like easily playable like that, like low casting cost or land.
and if you want to have a deck full of low casting cost cards, you're gonna also run a 6 casting cost card in that same deck.
Yeah.
That's going to be, you're going to have enough mana in your deck to be able to reliably cast a 6 casting cost card. And the rest
Yeah.
of the deck's going to be low casting cost. It's hard. It would be hard for me to
This
make
is the
something
kind of
interesting out of
card that
this.
I would start to try to build a deck around and then eventually remove it from that deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Which I do sometimes.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Okay, next one is Coral Fighters. This is an old guy from Mirage.
It feels very Mercadian Masks. Aerial Caravan.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I didn't spell Coral Fighters right either. I just made a typo. It did it for me. Why couldn't you help me out with Aerial? Come on. Coral Fighters from Mirage. Okay.
Coral Fighters is a merfolk soldier. 1 blue, 1 colorless, 1/1. If it attacks and is not blocked, you look at the top card of the defending player's library,
Oh,
and you
that's
may
cool.
choose to put that card on the bottom of their library.
I like this card. I forgot about it. It has to get through, of course, but
Yeah.
if it does, it's really cool. That's cool.
But I like
that.
these kind of cards that have abilities if they get through. They're always fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
Not the strongest. There's other cards that do similar things that might, help you draw cards or, destroy creatures or whatever if they get through, but it's okay.
I like it.
Okay.
15 cents. It's a decent little, probably common for Mirage.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. After that, we have Dream Fighter. Not Dream Weaver. Dream Fighter.
Dream Weaver.
Dream Fighter.
Also from Mirage.
Also from Mirage. I almost skipped past this because I was like, I hate phasing. There's another phasing soldier that I skipped entirely because it just phases, and that means it's only around every other turn for you, and it stinks, I think.
You have phasing PTSD.
I don't like phasing. But Dream Fighter, it's rated 3.84. Some people seem to like it. It is 2 colorless, 1 blue. It's a 1/1 soldier. Whenever it blocks or is blocked, it and that creature both phase out. So that's kind of cool. It's like a lockdown blocker for 3 mana that can survive and keep blocking things.
It is kind of cool. I don't remember this card at all. But it's not bad. I mean, yes, you could just you just could put creature removal on your deck instead. I agree.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
But it also takes up
unique.
a blocker kind of where it gets through. You know what I mean? If you're attacking with other things, now they have to either phase out one of their blockers blocking it and not kill anything, or let it through for 1 damage every turn.
Or let it through. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I think it's, it puts some pressure and gives you some defense. It's okay. I would definitely want to play this in a deck that allowed me to pump it somehow, I think. Or like slap a curiosity on it, or some kind of aura, or maybe do something like that.
Okay, it's all right. I give it a rating of 2.93 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Dream Fighter from Mirage.
Yeah, 3.84 on Gather.
Holy smokes. Okay.
Huh. There's a white enchantment called Entangler. Enchanted creature may block any number of creatures.
Okay, yeah. So you could lure this thing up.
Yeah, something like that. But then if you're going to do that, why not just do something that destroys them all,
Oh, that goes back to my original comment. You could just run removal.
Yeah.
Okay. Entangle.
But anyways, kind of interesting.
May block any number of creatures for casting cost for that.
Yeah,
a fucking prophecy, of course. Okay.
So yeah, Dream Fighter would be cool in like a sealed environment, I think. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Cool card to pull then. All right. Next card. This is a 2-parter. I have 2 2-parters in blue here, which I both think are kind of interesting. This one's called Metathran Elite.
I have no memory of ever seeing any Metathrans. Urza's Destiny. This is why I have not gone really much through Urza's Destiny.
These appear to be some sort of blue robot-y creatures. Metathran Elite is 1 colorless, 2 blue, Metathran Soldier. It's 2/3, and it can't be blocked as long as it's enchanted. So I like this because I like auras a little bit, and it'd
Yeah.
be cool in an aura deck. Blue-green Rancor, kapow.
Smash.
Yeah, you have several enchantments that do cool things if the creature gets through, like make them discard or something like that, like draw cards for you. So that'd be cool.
Okay, decent. It's a soldier.
3.55, and he's a soldier again. Like so, if you get your soldier pumping. The other Metathran is Metathran Soldier,
Also a soldier.
also a soldier. Metathran Soldier just straight up can't be blocked. It's less casting cost, 1 colorless, 1 blue, but it's only a 1/1 instead of a 2/3.
1/1 with shadow. It's a Metathran soldier shadow creature.
Yeah,
Decent.
basically. They can block too, though, unlike a shadow creature.
That's true. I don't know
Not
if
a
I
big
want to
deal.
block with it though.
Not a big deal. Yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah.
If you pump stuff in your deck, it could be better, or you just need to
Yeah.
save your life. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this card. I don't recognize the art.
Same. I don't think I've ever seen it. Okay, they're okay. I don't like these Metathrans as much as, say, the Dalthies we looked at in
Yeah,
black,
probably not.
or
Probably not.
as
No.
much as the Soltaris that we looked at in white. So blue's weaker here, but these are okay.
Yeah. And then, so we're going to get onto these 2 Thalicos cards, which also might make this card even less useful. I don't know. Might just be up to your discretion. But Thalicos Sentry.
I picked the wrong one.
Uh-oh. Doesn't matter. What'd you pick? Thalicos Scout?
Yeah, let's do this one first.
Okay.
It's also on the list. Dalicos Scout. Go.
Thalicos Scout is 1 blue, 2 colorless. Thalicos Soldier Scout. It's a 2/1 with shadow. So here are some blue creatures with shadow. And it has an ability, discard a card and return it to its owner's hand. The Thalicos Scout, that is.
Okay.
So not too bad, a little more expensive than some of the other shadow creatures, but it has a built-in save its own life effect with a discard. And if you're playing black-blue shadow, that could be okay, because now you have some graveyard shenanigans.
Graveyard shenanigans, play it with things like Wonder or Genesis, whatever, stuff you want in your graveyard, stuff that when it's in your graveyard, it gives
Wonder's
your
a good
creature special
idea.
abilities. Although Wonder gives it flying, and then if you have shadow, you probably just don't need flying, really.
Okay. Maybe you have other creatures, though.
But you
so
get the
don't have
point.
shadow.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the point. Okay,
that's
so
cool.
I'm liking this. This is more on the same power level as like the Dalthies we saw, or the Soltaris and what.
Okay.
They're getting up there.
All right. Then you have Thalicos Sentry going back in time to Tempest. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Huh?
Going back in time. Back in time. Right out.
Yeah. This guy's a long neck.
Oh boy.
He's 1 blue, 1 colorless, 1/2, Thalicos Soldier, Shadow.
Okay.
Just a 1/2 with Shadow.
Okay. Not as good as the Scout.
Yeah,
just
I feel
generic
like
generic shadow creature.
Yeah, and in white and black, you have better 2 casting cost shadow creatures.
Okay.
So, last resort, maybe, if you need shadow.
Okay.
Okay. Last blue.
Thalicos Sentry's
There's
okay.
one last blue. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
This is the card I started to tell you about earlier. This one piqued my interest. Saprazan Legate. Is that how you say that? Legate?
There's a lot of Saprazans here. These are all Mercadian Mask cards, I think, maybe. Saprazan.
Yeah. We talked about one the other day that in that that Turtle Splash deck, someone uses, there's a weird Saprazan card. Magistrate, I think.
Yeah, hold on a second, Alex. Listen to this.
Legate.
Can you hear that?
Legate? Okay. I should know that, probably.
A member of the clergy, especially a cardinal, representing
know
the
that.
Pope.
Never mind.
or a general or governor of an ancient Roman province or their
Okay.
deputy.
All right.
One more time for the listeners.
Legate.
Legate. Okay.
Saprazan Legate. Doesn't look like a clergyman type dude. It
What
looks
the
more like
fuck?
a Drake riding merfolk psycho.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what the clergy do in Merfolk
Yeah.
land.
All right.
They ride drakes like psychos.
Like ride them like psychos. I think this is pretty cool. At first, I was just kind of like, "Oh, this is a sideboard card." It's 1 blue, 3 colorless, 1/3 flying, Merfolk Soldier.
Okay.
If an opponent controls a mountain and you control an island, you may play it without paying its mana cost.
Okay. I like that.
So I was like,
stuff.
okay, here's your sideboard against red card for your blue soldier or your Merfolk deck. But again,
Mhm.
side note, it goes with Merfolk, so this can get pumped, so that's cool. But then I thought Merfolks have the ability pretty easily to change, and blue, like the color blue, to change land types. So I can force people to have mountains with one of the most common, with some of the like 1 casting cost common Merfolks. And now this card is free to cast. You could
You love doing that shit.
I do love doing that shit. If you use a lot of the Merfolk decks, there's a 1/1 Merfolk that taps to turn a land into an island, and they use that for Island Walk. Okay, and because it's a 1/1. But Reef Shaman is almost the same thing. It's 1 colorless or 1 blue casting cost for a 0/2, and the target land becomes whatever land type you want. So you can still use that to turn something into an island for Island Walk, but you can also use it to turn something into a mountain to cast this card for free, which I like. You could
And
go
it's
turn
only
1, huh?
it's only one blue too. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, you could go turn 1 Reef Shaman, turn 2 cast a Lord of Atlantis, turn one of their lands into a mountain, and cast the Legate for free.
Oh my god, then you've won the game.
I think that's pretty cool.
It's all over. It's all
I
over
think
for them after that.
And it's a soldier, so
And it's a
that
soldier.
helps you, but it probably won't in your blue Merfolk deck.
Probably won't, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
That was kind of cool.
Archaic meaning of legate is also an ambassador or a messenger. So maybe this guy's just a messenger and uses his
okay.
drake to travel around.
That sounds better.
Okay. Those were some green soldiers, some blue soldiers, some black soldiers, some red soldiers, and some gold soldiers. I think that's the end of our non-winged pre-modern soldier discussion. What do you think, Alex?
Well, I was going to say, some people might be asking, aren't there more blue soldiers?
Well, hold on. Hold on.
Like, oh,
Hold on. Aren't there more blue soldiers, Alex?
There are indeed some more very special blue and white soldiers for us to talk about next time in part 3 of our pre-modern soldier extravaganza, Steve.
Okay.
Surprise third category of soldiers.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this third category. It might be my favorite category of pre-modern soldiers. I said might. It is. Stop fence sitting, Steve. Don't say maybe, could be. I think it is. Wait, no, actually, I'm not sure if it is. It might be my favorite group of pre-modern soldiers. It is at least top 3. Coming up next week.
Next week.
Well, next we were going to talk about, we had a segment 2 after the white pre-modern soldier review last week. I did some digging on TC decks. I thought myself about what kind of decks I might want to build with those white pre-modern soldiers. I was going to go through some of those decks. I think I'm going to leave that to another episode. What do you think, Alex? We might do a mini episode.
That's okay with me, yeah.
Let's do it. Maybe we do a mini deck talk episode where we go through the decks, or we maybe we could do it next week with the pre-modern brew soldiers. So we're going to leave the deck talk till later. We're going to move on to the Old Mage MTG Commander Corner. Was supposed to be segment 3 of the show today, but it's going to be segment 2.
I'm excited.
Segment 2 is the last segment of the Old Mage MTG podcast today.
That's good because we actually have some catching up to do on this. We added some cards during our lost episode, and we realized we had to notify the viewers that we added some cards that we never ended up getting to talk about on air.
We had a lost episode. I'm trying to build a soundboard where I put goofy sound bites into the soundboard. I spend time hitting the button. I turn the Old Mage MTG podcast into a morning zoo. That's my goal. That's my dream, to run a morning zoo.
It seems to be what the people like.
I thought I made it happen, but we have some sort of strange issue. It sounds like I'm talking into a fan the whole episode. So I didn't post the audio because it's fucking terrible. I think maybe I have it figured out. I think it's a sampling rate issue. That's step 1, identify the issue. Step 2, resolve the issue. I'm stuck at step 2. We'll see though. Anyways, we lost an episode. It was a whole episode. What did we talk about? I don't even remember what we talked about.
It was so good.
But I do know
the Terravore deck evolution, I think.
That's right. Yeah, we talked about something we'll probably talk about pretty soon in the coming episode. But also in that episode, we added some cards to our commander decks, to our 2024 commander decks. And then last week I forgot that we did that. So they were just sitting here, and people, viewers with a sharp eye, they might be like, "Hey, where did that card come from?" Steve, are you adding decks off the pod?
Yeah,
no.
Behind our viewers' backs?
Steve, are you adding cards off the pod? Well, yes, but it was an accident. So on the last episode, I described how I'm trying to build, I was building a Togatog as my 2024 commander deck. So far, it's all old frame. I think I'm going to try to keep it all old frame. We had a viewer say to us, "Hey, Steve, where's your card draw, man? You need card draw." And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I need some kind of card draw in a Togatog. How do I build card draw into a Togatog? Well, something I was thinking about was maybe building a Togatog with an Enchantress shell. Because I want to have a lot of enchantments in this deck, I think. Because some of my best ATOGs, I think most of my best ATOGs, other than a Togatog itself, eat enchantments to get bigger. So I'm going to be filling the deck with a lot of enchantments. If I'm going to be filling the deck with a lot of enchantments, playing a lot of enchantments, why not throw in an Enchantress? To get some card draw that way. So I tossed in Femref Enchantress. I tossed in Argothian Enchantress. I tossed in Femref Enchantress from Visions, which every time an enchantment's put into a graveyard from play, draw a card. That's great. If I play an enchantment, draw a card from Argothian Enchantress, feed the enchantment to my Thaumatog, draw another card from Femref Enchantress when it goes to the graveyard.
Heck yeah.
I also added Enchantress's Presence, which is itself an enchantment that allows me to draw a card whenever I play an enchantment spell. You guys missed that. It was in the lost episode. Now I'm recapping that portion of the lost episode. So those were my additions from the lost episode. This episode has not been lost yet. Hopefully it does not get lost. Hopefully you see this. Today I've decided to... What do you say?
I'm excited for you to say the next part.
It's tutor time.
Woo!
Okay, I didn't know if you knew what I was going to say. Steve says it's tutor time. This is the time where I add my tutors to my 2024 old frame commander deck with a Togatog as my commander. There's questions about how many tutors you should put in your commander decks. Some people don't like too many tutors. They say it makes the game too repetitive. Part of the fun of commander is the variance, playing different games, not having the same thing happen all the time. I kind of agree with that sometimes, but you know what? I'm playing a Togatog and it's all old frame, so I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball. I'm kind of starting kind of weak. I'm neutering myself already.
In a 100-card deck, having 1 or 2 tutors is that's not going to make every one of your games play the same. It's just...
Well, Alex,
It's giving
I'm
you a
not
multiple of just one or two more cards. Like,
I'm not adding one or two tutors today. When I say it's
oh,
tutor time, what I'm doing is I'm adding 3 tutors. I am adding the original
triple
tutor,
tutors.
the best tutor, probably the only tutor in MTG that has a pentagram on its forehead,
Yes.
demonic
Rock.
tutor.
Not all of them
At,
though. They took it off, right?
I know, terrible. Yeah.
In some later edition.
I'm going with the original tutor, the
We
original
like to get
art.
pentagrammed up around here.
What am I doing? I'm looking printing. I'm typing demonic tutor and printing. Unlimited. I have an unlimited demonic tutor.
Nice.
Traded for it a long time ago. Don't know where I got it. I'm adding vampiric tutor. I have a vampiric tutor. I have one not to brag. One original vampiric tutor. It's the black bordered from Visions, not to brag. What is this white bordered nonsense? Get this out of here. Back when this was printed, I was like, why would I play this? It will cost
I
me
know,
2
it's so
life.
crazy how we overlooked this card when Visions came out.
Demonic tutors right there. Why would I play vampiric tutor that makes me pay 2 life
And I
and
don't even
doesn't
put the card in my
and
hand.
doesn't put the
Come
card
on,
in my
man.
hand? What did I know?
Rookies.
Not much.
Rookies.
And because I just mentioned this is going to be an enchantment heavy deck, I'm playing Enlightened Tutor. Enlightened Totor. Utor. Tutor. Enlightened Tutor. From Mirage. I have a Mirage Enlightened Tutor. Those are my tutors for today. I can use the Enlightened Tutor to get any of my fancy enchantments. I can also use it to get some artifacts. Right now, I just have 2 artifacts, Soul Ring and a Felwar Stone. More artifacts will come. Potentially a lifeline will come.
I
Potentially.
think that's great because in a 5-color deck like this, you can just put in whatever good stuff enchantments you want, just
Yeah.
like the best enchantments from any color, and then grab them with the Enlightened Tutor.
I will run all the best enchantments. Only the best enchantments.
It will be the best.
A Togatog has the best enchantments. People say he runs only the best enchantments. The best enchantments you've ever seen. And a Togatog 24. Deck called a deck in progress. Okay. Alex, you have some additions for your commander
Steve,
deck today.
I do. I do. First, my recap from last time. I added some lands. Not a big deal. I got a Treetop Village because I want man lands in here, and I put Slippery Karst and Tranquil Thicket, the 2 cycling lands. Because I'm gonna have a lot of forests late game. I might want some card draw instead of, just another land. And I added a Maze of Ith for defense, and Krosan Restorer I added. I guess I should probably mention that card just because I'm not sure if too many people know it, but it's in the
Seems
land theme of last week because it helps me with my lands. Uh, Person Restorer is a druid that you can tap to untap a land, and if you have Threshold, you can untap 3 lands with it. So that will help me get more mana, like reuse my forests, and also with my Maze of Aether and my man lands, give me some more defense maybe. So that was my additions for last week.
mm-hmm.
Today, I had 1 or 2 categories I wanted to round out. Like you, I'm doing a little bit of enchantressy stuff. So I'm gonna throw in a Verduran enchantress. I was on the fence about it for a minute because I forgot that it is a druid elf. And
Oh,
if it's a druid elf, I pretty much have to play it. Like I don't know, there's just too much synergy and utility with this card, I feel like, to not play it.
I had no idea. I like this art. I've never seen this Verduran
That's pretty
enchantment
cool.
art. I wonder if it
Rob
has a black
Alexander.
bordered. Yeah, I wonder if it has a black border version. That's pretty sweet.
I
7th
don't know.
edition.
I bet it doesn't, but that's pretty cool. You get it in foil.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, play it. If I played foil, I don't play foils.
I know, neither do
7th edition foil Verduran enchantress, old frame. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Damn, you need to get that.
Oh yeah, because the foils have black. Okay, I forgot about that.
$150, $160 only.
Dang.
7th edition foils.
But yeah, it's a druid and an elf, and I have druid and elf stuff in this deck, and it has card draw for mono green. So boom, I'm doing it.
Which version do you want here in your virtual deck?
Unlimited. I think I got an unlimited one.
There you go.
If not, I'm gonna.
She's right there.
Okay. Second card. I have a Sylvan Library in here, but it's a 100-card deck. How am I gonna get my Sylvan Library, Steve?
Hold on a second. You're gonna cheat when you're
This
shuffling.
this isn't a literal question. Sorry. I'm gonna use another card that is like Sylvan Library so that I have two of them.
How are you gonna get that card? Ask me
By
how you're gonna
putting
get that card.
Mirri's Guile in my deck.
How are you gonna get Mary's Guile? How are you gonna get Mary's Guile in your hand?
What?
You're gonna cheat when you're shuffling.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna cheat. Cheating's bad.
Mary's Guile.
Mirri's Guile is a side grade from Sylvan Library, maybe not quite as good. It's 1 casting cost instead of 2. And you rearrange the top 3 cards of your library during your upkeep before you draw. You just can't do the pay 4 life to draw extra with it. But it's an enchantment that helps me deal with, the card order on the top of my deck.
Yeah.
And I have a few shuffling effects in here. So between that and the Sylvan Library and the shuffling effects, I feel like they'll keep things fresh on top.
Still a very good card, yeah.
Yeah.
What are the shuffling effects you had? Because I was trying to think what shuffling effects, and I was wondering if maybe you'd want to put a Thawing Glaciers in here.
I actually looked at that recently for this, and I thought about it. I'm on the fence still. I don't think I'm going to do it.
I'm also on the fence. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I have a few things that I haven't added yet. Like I've mentioned already,
Okay.
it's not a secret now, but I'm going to do some natural order type cards in here for tutoring. Some things like that, for example.
Okay. For
And I
Druid
also have some
Enchantress.
graveyard effects, I think, coming up that might make me shuffle when I do stuff.
Mirri's Guile.
Mirri's Guile.
And
Third
then,
card. This is fun for me because it's a new card that I just discovered, and it goes well in this deck.
I have no idea what it is.
Oh, okay. Nantuko Tracer.
I've never seen this card before.
No, I just learned about it. But there's a lot of Nantukos. Nantuko Tracer is 1 green, 1 colorless. What are you doing there?
I'm trying to. I want to zoom in. So, like for instance, if I wanted to blow up claw, just put my cursor on it, and then it shows up here, and then I can zoom in, right? But when you have a creature when you have a card that's in the middle,
oh, it won't let you do that?
I can zoom in here, but then I have to move my cursor to the left or the touchscreen. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Nantuko Tracer. 1 green, 1 colorless, quick to get down. Insect Druid, so Druid for my deck. 2/1. When Nantuko Tracer comes into play, you may put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. So I was looking for a few more recycling and graveyard effects to get some of my cards back. I think this is fair for a Druid to casting cost 2/1 that has like a little effect. That would be okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Interesting. The art made me laugh when I saw it.
Yeah, the art is interesting. It's like this big Nantuko mantis guy teaching some sort of, I don't know if that's another different type of Nantuko. It looks like a weird blue kangaroo giraffe.
Yeah. A baby toque. They're blue, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
He is tracing a glyph or something into the sand.
Yeah. It does look like he's tracing. But yeah, I was just saying, I have a few things that can shuffle. Maybe some more coming up. So once I put this on the bottom, it won't really matter. I'll reshuffle my library and it'll be back incorporated. Or I can use it against my opponent to like stuff something I don't want them to get onto the bottom of their library if I have to. but I was looking for a few more low casting cost druids, and I'm mostly done with them. I have a few more coming up, but we're getting close. And I think the
Okay.
deck's almost, I think I have a pretty good grasp on my remaining cards for the remaining spaces.
Okay. I think I got mine almost built too.
Nice.
So maybe in the upcoming episodes we'll add a little bit faster.
How many
I think
cards am I at?
I
Oh, never mind. If it doesn't tell you. Why doesn't it tell you?
it
Should
does somewhere and I forget where,
It's
right?
at the very bottom
But,
left.
but also I can count.
Well, but why count?
But I know it tells me somewhere and I can't remember
It's at the
where.
bottom left in a purple banner.
Here's the mana curve. Average mana value.
See, on my screen, it just comes up as like a
Example
banner.
hand.
Comes over top of everything. There you go. Something
64.
64
main deck.
Okay. Thank you.
64 main deck. Okay, 64 cards. Cost of $226.69 to assemble this currently.
Okay.
Okay, that's Seaton's Power 2024. This is Alex's mono green Druid Commander deck he's building. All old frame cards. Those are your additions for the week. That brings us to the end of episode 82 of the Old Mage MTG podcast, part 2 of Pre-Modern Soldiers. We did various colors of soldiers today. No winged soldiers. The winged soldiers are coming next week. I think I'm going to go spend some time out in the sun, or I'm going to cook dinner, or I'm going to nap. I'm not sure which of those 3 things I'm going to do. I should do 1 and 2, but I might do 3 instead.
Aim for all 3. Get outside, get the food going, take a nap outside while the food's cooking.
Then I'm going to have a hard time waking up for work tomorrow because I'm going to have a hard time falling asleep tonight. And it's just vicious cycle that I get myself trapped in, Alex. I didn't fall asleep till late last night, very late, and I had to wake up at 7 this morning. I wasn't even supposed to go into work today. It was my goddamn day off, but I got called in, and now my whole week is fucked. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Anyways, that's it. That's it for episode 82.
Thank you.
See you next week for episode 83.
I ain't gonna do this anymore. That's all for me. Goodbye.